Morning students. Today we shall be discussing the next chapter in Standards 12th section 1, which is 1.3, the cop and the anthem by O. Henry. So in this particular chapter we shall be seeing into a very different story. Now this story will help you to be inspired. This story is an inspirational story. So let us begin first with the icebreakers. So the icebreakers here. Suppose you have gone to a place where the winter season is very severe. Discuss with your partner the ways in which you would protect yourself in cold climate. Say that you and your family is visiting a place such as Jammu and Kashmir or Darjeeling or maybe Mahabaleshwar or Panchgani in the winter season, and you know it is very cold around there. So how would you protect yourself? Okay. So the ways to protect one from cold climate is, first you will wear warm clothes, warm woolen clothes, which are the gloves, the sweater, mufflers and socks and jackets and all those. Then you could take shelter at a very warm place where you could keep yourself protected. You will do physical movements such as rubbing your hands, walking around, okay, or you will try to sit near fire to keep yourself warm. The next is, when you see a cop approaching, you feel either relieved or scared. Discuss with your partner the situations when you feel relieved or scared. Relieved means you do not feel any tension around you, but scared is that you have done something and you are scared around the cops. So there are two columns given here. One shows relieved, one is given for you, such as you are walking alone in a dark street, you feel relieved. Or a brawl starts near you, means a fight starts near you and suddenly the cops arrive, you feel relieved. You are about to be looted on a lonely street and the cops arrive. Mostly at times when you are walking alone on a lonely street, some people try to follow you or they come to you, they try to snatch away your money or any precious items such as your bag or your mobile phone, and suddenly the cops arrive, you feel very nice. Okay, and so when do you feel scared? You feel scared when you are riding a bike without a valid driving license. Most of the time, most of us, we feel scared when the cops are around. Maybe though they are the normal cops or they are the traffic cops, but we feel some kind of tension when of being caught. Many a times this tension is around us. Or you break a signal and try to sneak away, means you knowingly or unknowingly break a signal and then you are trying to get away from there, you are trying to run and suddenly you see a cop in front of you. Or you're involved in some crime, maybe some small fight, maybe a big fight, maybe you what do you say, maybe a robbery, maybe something like that. So these are the situations when you feel either relieved or either scared in the presence of a cop. So the next is, discuss some of the motivating things that can change a person's life. One is given for you. Okay, what things can happen in your life, motivating things that will help you relieved, it will make you feel inspired and you will do some nice action. First is listening to an inspiring speech. Yes, for the best way of motivating yourself is listening to some inspiring speech. Maybe you will listen to the inspiring speech of any famous TV actor or a YouTube star or a, what is a personal fitness coach or somebody. You will listen to their speeches. Reading motivational and inspiration books or blogs. So nowadays people just don't listen, they want to see, they want to read more about the people, okay, how these people got successful. So the best source is a book, or you can go to the blogs. You can use the internet and reach out to the blogs where people are writing motivational things about others' life. Listening to motivational speeches on YouTube, this is what I prefer. That if I want to feel motivated and if I feel that I need some kind of inspiration, I can go directly on the YouTube and I can type their motivational speeches and I can see some of the motivational speeches, listen to them, let that, what do you say, speech, or let that anything, whatever they're trying to tell seep into me. Or watching a biopic or an interview of a successful person or people on TV or internet. Biopic means a biography, means like a movie. For example, you can see somebody's movie, like you see the movie Mary Kom to understand the struggle and what is the inspiration of Mary Kom. Or you can see the movie MS Dhoni, the untold story, to understand the struggle and life of India's ex-captain, Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So, or you can directly see the interviews of what do you say, rich, famous, and successful people. Like you can see the interview of Mr. Ambani or Mr. Tata or Bill Gates. Okay, so such things you can do. You can either look at their movies, or either you can see their interviews, either on the TV or the internet. The Cop and the Anthem. Sophie left his bench and strolled out of the square and across the level sea of asphalt where Broadway and Fifth Avenue flow together. Up Broadway he turned and stopped at a luxurious cafe. So Sophie, our protagonist, or we can say one of the important characters of our lesson, he was moving out of his bench, he left and he strolled. Strolled means he was walked in a leisurely way. He was actually moving very slowly off the square and across the level sea of asphalt. Asphalt here means the road. Okay, he's walking on that black tar road where Broadway and Fifth Avenue flow together. So this particular place, Broadway and Fifth Avenue, is a very famous place in London, and this place is famous because of the shops and the number of restaurants it has. Okay, up Broadway he turned and stopped at a luxurious cafe, means at a rich cafe, at a, you can say that 2-star or maybe 3-star cafe. He stopped. Soapy had confidence in himself that the lowest button of his vest upward, vest means it's like a waistcoat which you wear under the blazer. Okay, he had confidence in him that there was something in his vest. He has shaven and his coat was trim and neat. Black bow had been presented to him by a lady missionary on Thanksgiving Day. So he was well dressed. You can say that what is it, in people usually in London or in what is it, in different places, they have a attire, they have a proper outfit. So his outfit was very good. Means if you are strolling in London, if you are walking in some nice place, you will eitherly be well dressed. Means he was wearing a nice shirt, he was wearing a bow, he was wearing means a bow is a type of a tie. Okay, he was wearing a waistcoat and he was just walking properly, and he was going actually to a particular place. If only he could reach a table in the restaurant unsuspected, success would be his. Unsuspected means without being in what do you say, in being spotted by anybody. If he would go properly at where he wanted to go, that would be a great thing. The portion of him that would show above the table would raise no doubt in the waiter's mind. So there was something below his waist, means below the waistline, below he was wearing something which would really make problems for him. This is what his presence or his attire is trying to tell us. If he could only, the waiter could see only the upper portion of his body, there would be no doubt that nobody can suspect him, means there would be no problem. Okay, see, a roasted mallard duck, thought Soapy, would be about the thing with a bottle of wine and then some cheese, a cup of coffee and a cigar. So what is it, Soapy had fixed something in his mind. The menu was fixed, a roasted duck. Mallard duck is a type of a dish. Okay, then he was thinking about a cigar, a type of a cigarette. Okay, then he was thinking of a bottle of wine, some cheese, coffee, everything. He had planned everything in his mind. $1 for the cigar would be enough. The total would not be so high as to call forth any extreme of revenge from the cafe management. So he thought that he had all that money, he could buy that entire menu for him, and he was having that money. If he couldn't pay, then there would be some problem for him from the cafe management, but he had that money, enough money to pay for all the things, and yet the meat would leave him filled and happy for the journey to his winter island. So he's saying that everything, he had enough money that after having a nice what do you say, dinner kind of thing, dinner or a nice meal, he could move towards the winter island. So winter island here means his journey. He would be happy to go on his unknown journey. But as Sophie set foot inside the restaurant door, the head waiter's eye fell upon his tattered trousers and descendant shoes. So as soon as Soapy's all planned, he had made all the plans, perfect planning was done, and he was going to enter the restaurant. The head waiter, means the chief of the waiters, he suddenly saw his trousers. Tattered trouser means Torn off trousers and means torn off worn off shoes. So old shoes and torn trousers was something which was not allowed it into that luxurious cafe. Means if all the people who were in that cafe either should be rich or they should be well dressed. So and Soapy was neither of them. He was neither rich nor he had proper clothes, as he had already told that if the waiter could see only to his upper portion of the body, he would be happy. Nobody should see what he is wearing below. Strong and ready hands turned him about and conveyed him in silence and haste to the sidewalk and awaited the ignoble fate of the menaced mallard. So ignoble means dishonorable. So whatever happened with him was something very not proper for him. It was dishonorable for him. It was like an insult for him that some person came, two people came and they actually picked him in silence, and they pushed him away outside the hotel. Okay, he was outside the hotel and they didn't want any menace, means they didn't want any fight. So till the story till now we have seen that Soapy had planned something in his mind and it completely failed. He wanted to have a nice meal at the luxurious hotel with the mallard duck, but unfortunately because of his dressing, his attire, he was thrown out of the hotel, and unfortunately he had to walk from there. He didn't do anything foolish there, he didn't get into a fight. Soapy then turned off Broadway. It seemed that his route to the coveted island was not to be an easy one. So, coveted here means greatly island. He wanted to reach some place, but his plan failed. His first plan failed. Some other way of entering the limbo must be devised. So, limbo here means the border place between heaven and hell. So, this border place was actually the prison, as we know that he was trying to enter the prison because he wanted to protect himself from the cold winter. So now he had to devise some another plan. He had to make another plan. At the corner of the 6th Avenue, electric lights and cunningly displayed wares behind plate glass made a shop window very attractive. So the next plan was, he was moving and he saw a shop and it had plate glass. It is thin glass which is used for decorating the windows. So he saw that windows and they were cunningly displayed, means they were actually lighting, means they lighted so beautifully, they looked very attractive in that night. So Soapy took a stone and dashed it through the glass. People came running around the corner, a policeman in the lead. So Soapy's second plan was somehow being arrested. So he grabbed a stone and he threw to the window. He broke the window. People came running around, and the person, the head who was leading that crowd was a policeman. Soapy stood still with his hands in his pockets, smiled at the right of the brass buttons. So here brass buttons actually means the dress of the policeman in the olden days in America, or was of a different kind. They used to wear blue color uniform which had brass button. Brass is actually so this brass is actually alloy which is made from part zinc and part copper. So in the olden days, the police people who were working in America or on the streets of London, they used to wear this specific uniform, dark blue colored uniform which had buttons made up of brass. So he's saying that he was happy to see the brass buttons, means he was happy to see the policeman. Where's the man that done that? Inquired the officer agitatedly. Now agitatedly the officer asked, where's the man who done that? I want to see the person. Agitated means in a troubled or nervous manner. He asked, okay, don't you think that I might have had something to do with it? Said Soapy with a friendly voice, as one greets good fortune. So if there would be some another person who would do such a thing, who would try to break into another's shop, he would not tell anything about it. But here Soapy himself is inviting the problem. He's saying that don't you think that I have to do something with it, like I have done it. Indirectly he's trying to convey this message to the police person, but in a very friendly voice, as if he's greeting good fortune, as if he thinks that something is good going to happen with him. The police refuse to accept Soapy even as a clue. So if somebody tells you, means say that you're walking off the streets and you see some person, so you broke somebody's shop and the police people come there, and if they start to inquire, who did this, you did this, do you know anything about this, and the person who did that says that, sir, I have something to do with it, I have done it, then the policeman or any person would not believe him. The same thing happened with here with Soapy, that nobody was willing to believe him. The policeman didn't think also that Soapy would have done anything like that. Men would smash windows, do not remain to the chat with the people, they take to their heels. The police saw a man halfway down the block running to catch a car. With a drawn club, he joined in the pursuit. Soapy, with disgust in his heart, drifted along, twice unsuccessful. So the police person thought that there was no chance that somebody like Soapy would do that thing, because if somebody would do something like that, he would do the first thing he would do, that whenever he would see a policeman, he would run away from that police. But unfortunately, Soapy was there. He thought that if I told the policeman that I have done that, he could catch him, he could arrest him. But nothing happened in the in the manner he wanted. But instead of that, the police started chasing some person who was trying to catch a car. With a drawn club, he joined in the pursuit. Soapy, with disgust in his heart, drifted along, twice unsuccessful. So Soapy was unhappy with this also incident, that he tried to arrest himself. Now people usually don't do that, but Soapy had a plan in his mind. He wanted to go at some place, but 2 times his plan failed. On the opposite side of the street was a restaurant of no great pretensions. It catered a large appetite and modest pursuits. Its crockery and atmosphere thick, its soup napery thin. Into the place Soapy betook himself without challenge. At a table he sat and consumed beefsteak, flapjacks, donuts, and a pie. So this is actually at a different place. Now on the opposite side of the street he saw a restaurant with no great pretensions. Means there was what do you say?